Yes, I'm aware of what you're doing in the background. Hello, TikTok. My name is Lex. So, a few days ago, not really a few days ago, not too long ago, I decided to take substances. Not anything hard. It was just an edible that was a few milligrams over my normal dosage. Also, ignore the cat in the background. He is there for flair, and because I know that some of you ADHD motherfuckers need flashing lights to see or do anything. That's why I wear the glow sticks. That's why he has glow sticks on. Anyway, so I wrote a fucking script, which is not like me. I don't script my videos. I don't write scripts for my videos. So it's weird that High Me was like, oh my god, I am going to write a script for Sober Me. So here I am, Sober Me. I am here reading out High Me's notes about dissociative identity disorder. Because for instance, I mean, not for instance, by the way, I, Lex, have a general dissociative disorder, meaning that I have a tendency to have strong bouts of dissociation and disconnect from my mind, my body, and my memories. And it has also developed into DID for me. I have OSDD and DID, general dissociation, and also the specific DID that a lot of VR chat players have. Oh my god, a VR chat player has DID? Oh my god, Rose, have you ever heard of a VR chat player with DID? They can't hear you. So I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read this to you guys, and you're gonna listen to what Jaime had to say about DID. Background decoration, keep their attention. Okay. Hello, I'm Hi, but I'm here to explain DID to people. This is going to be fun. Okay, so so DID or OSDD for a more broader dissociative disorder. Dissociation is what the brain does whenever it detaches its main consciousness from the place it is in. Is your brain detaching itself from one's thoughts and feelings? Dissociative identity disorder is whenever you take that blank slate that your brain is then creating and putting an identity onto it. Generally, yeah. Putting an identity onto. This is more specifically whenever someone is oftentimes having social situation. Eventually, your brain, the host, as some people would call it, it does not want the body to be an empty husk that has blank responses. So it starts to puppet the body in a way that gives it a personality. The identity, therefore, aka an alter, which alter is such a fucking buzzword on VR chat, I swear to God, will begin to develop its identity, thoughts, and feelings of it as if it's its own person. This identity will then solidify itself in the brain and present the characteristics of the brain, will tap into it when it's needed, aka when the alter is needed, the brain will be like, I need you. It's like having different character files in a video game, depending on what route you want to go through. Do you want to be a mage? Do you want to be a paladin? Do you want to be an assassin? Stuff like that. Because your personality is nothing more than a list of traits, emotions and feelings that your brain has decided are the most key to your survival, which is true. Like people, this is more indicative of my thoughts of if it's nature versus nurture. In my opinion, I believe it is more nurture. I feel like your personality is more formed. I believe that you are formed with an initial personality, but I believe that over the course of your life it slowly develops into something else. Continue. Not everyone's brain processes what is needed for survival the same. That's the reason why people with personalities can vary. That's the reason why not everyone is the same. Everyone's brain processes the world differently. Now, chemical imbalances in the brain before and after you're born are not counted into this. Things like anxiety, clinical depression, BPD, NPD are conditions that are caused by physical altercations in the brain that can't help the brain that the brain can't help. It can't get rid of these traits, even if it can detect that they aren't vital for survival. So the brain oftentimes tries to process these mental conditions and work it into your everyday life, which just yeah, I have anxiety, chemical imbalance in my brain that causes me to overthink shit, which is stupid, and I hate it. Continuing. Now, I have personally have OSDD, a dissociative disorder that causes me to detach myself often from my thoughts and feelings and memories. I did it throughout the entirety of high school, and by the end of high school I kind of forgot who I was due to mental trauma and the things that like that. I also have developed ulcers. Oh, we are not getting into the story. This is not a story of my alters, which I had to break this script into 2 different pages because it was so not long. It wasn't too terribly long. It wasn't long like other scripts, but remember your personality is nothing more than the traits and thoughts and feelings that your brain gathers together as a way to figure out what is the best possible personality for your survival. Why your brain chooses to make you an idiot is up for discussion. Like that one over there. Uh, just, uh, but dissociative identity disorders where your brain decides that it needs more personalities, more identities for survival. When you are dissociating, your brain will project an identity onto your body, a persona, and whenever your brain likes a persona, it gives an identity of its own, separate from the main host of the body. And the brain isn't always consistent with the identity it wants. If it wants to give your brain a blank if you give your brain a blank canvas, it isn't going to paint the same thing every day, especially when social situations can vary. Sometimes that happy-go-lucky identity in your brain that your brain has made isn't going to work whenever someone is cussing you out. The aggressive personality that you made isn't going to work whenever you're trying to comfort somebody through a stressful situation, and being peppy and optimistic isn't going to help. It's like whatever your brain is trying to make a new cure for every type of venom that you could possibly be stung by. In some cases, your brain makes these identities before the situation can happen, or your brain makes these identities during or after the situation is already over, so it can happen. Be ready for next time. Essentially, so your brain can just be ready for the next time it might happen. Something like that. So yeah, Hi Me said, thanks for watching. Yeah, thank you. Let me switch my camera perspective. Yeah, Hi Me was like, yeah. Thanks for watching this. Please like and follow. Okay, you can stop being an idiot. I can pay you now.